Serba Dinamik Holdings dan pengurusan eksekutif tertingginya hari ini didakwa Suruhanjaya Security Malaysia SC kerana mengemukakan kenyataan palsu kepada Bursa Malaysia Securities.
Because this issue is becoming a global issue.
Serba Dinamik had announced it intended to conduct an independent review on the audit issues raised by KPMG, which last month took the company to task for over 4.54 billion ringgit in allegedly questionable transactions.
KPMG can be a big firm, but the standard auditing they do is just like a shop lot auditor. They are behaving like gangsters. They don't deserve to be auditors in this country.
Trust is a two-way street. In our story today, it's between a company and its investors. A company adored by many as the crown jewel of the nation. A company trusted by many to succeed and thrive. A company that represented growth and dynamicity. How did an organization that was held highly among Bursa Malaysia investors in terms of integrity and financial security was found to be associated with falsified financial statement charges? What were the chain of events that led to the breach of the investors' trust? What actually happened? Serba Dinamik was founded in 1993 by an ambitious mechanical engineer from UTM, Muhammad Abdul Karim Abdullah. The company established its first service center in Bintulu, Sarawak, providing maintenance, repair, and operations services for rotating equipment. With consistent project delivery records, in 1997, it successfully became a Petronas vendor.
The company's managing director and group CEO, Dato' Abdul Karim Abdullah, is confident that the positive response received so far is a sign of things to come for the company.
Serba Dinamik went international in 2001 with its first overseas maintenance and repair contract for an LNG plant in Qatar. Fast forward a decade, by 2013, Serba Dinamik established its offices in London and Bahrain to service customers in the UK and the Middle East.
We believe that it's a good starting point to show the trust and the interest of the investment community towards our company.
In 2017, Serba Dinamik was listed on the main market of Bursa Securities and acquired a 16-story office building in Shah Alam as its new head office. It was all growth and success after that, with Serba Dinamik's revenue and net profit seemed to be growing exponentially. By 2020, Serba expanded its presence in 6 regions and 26 countries. Serba Dinamik today focuses in operations and maintenance in oil and gas and EPCC of power plants, ICT and training industry. Fret not, Serba Dinamik's curiosity and confidence brought their expansion plans greater into cybersecurity, IR 4.0 and even into space technology. By the end of 2020, Karim has become a self-made multimillionaire and was often referred to as the Elon Musk of Malaysia due to his visions and business success. With exponential business growth backed by its future growth prospects, the nation's top funds flocked Serba Dinamik shares. Since its listing, Serba Dinamik share price tripled, pushing its market capitalization close to 6 billion ringgit. By the end of 2020, Serba Dinamik has become the ideal company for investors with promising returns. Looking back at its achievements and growth rate, who would have thought that there could be something else behind it than just pure hard work and great planning?
Since its initial public offering IPO last year, shares of the company have been oversubscribed by close to 5 times.
On February 2021, Serba Dinamik reported its revenue of 6 billion ringgit for the year 2020. It was the highest ever recorded earnings in its history. The investors were thrilled. It was all fun until May 5th, 2021. It was a day of horror for Serba Dinamik and its shareholders. The company's auditor, KPMG, logged a report raising concerns on sales transactions of 2.32 billion ringgit from 11 customers who did not exist. There were supplier purchase transactions of up to 96 million ringgit by an individual, and there was an existence of 7 peculiar IT contracts amounting 82 million US dollar. The numbers were seen to be fabricated. The unaudited financial report could be merely a showcase of profits obtained through successful business activity. Pertaining to the report, the Security Commission commenced an investigation and raided several Serba Dinamik offices. Serba Dinamik's share price plummeted. It was a chaos. Investors opted out desperately to save their hard-earned money. Close to 3 billion ringgit market capitalization wiped out in a matter of days due to fierce sell-down. Investors were left devastated. In the hopes to turn the tide, Serba Dinamik appointed EY as special independent reviewer to investigate the issues raised by KPMG. After 3 months, the truth was revealed. EY confirmed KPMG's concerns. The next day, the trading of Serba Dinamik shares was suspended. After a 1-year fight in the case, the saga ends with Serba Dinamik Holdings Berhad and its top 4 executives proven guilty. They paid a total sum of 16 million ringgit compound issued by the Securities Commission. Overstating revenue and misstating assets are some of the ways to manipulate a company's apparent health or to hide profits and losses. A check through the Bank Negara Malaysia's website revealed that Serba Dinamik was just the very tip of the iceberg. Based on the findings in Accounting Research Journal, the most common attempt used by the companies to overstate their revenue is by fabricating sales from bogus customers. The social implications, however, suggest that accounting scandals have had adverse consequences on society, which includes investor confidence. What were the thoughts that ran through the perpetrator's mind during the decision-making process? Aren't they all professionals who are supposed to uphold the highest ethical standards in their professions? What were their motivations? Diving deeper into its roots, the findings in Journal of Accountancy revealed that almost none of the occupational fraud offenders took their jobs for the purpose of committing fraud. Alike to fire, the fraud triangle represents 3 elements that lead to accounting frauds. An ethical act aggravated by a combination of 3 circumstances. The Serba Dinamik saga serves as a lesson for many, and it is now bound to be listed along many other accounting fraud cases in Malaysia. This reminds us the importance of corporate governance because it creates a system that determines how a company should operate and how it aligns the interests of all its stakeholders. Good corporate governance leads to ethical business practices, which leads to financial viability, and the very thing that revolves around it, trust. For Serba Dinamik, will it gain back the trust of its investors? Only time will tell.